Medical disclaimer. The content of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing discussed in this podcast should be taken as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician or a qualified healthcare professional before starting any exercise program, diet, or supplementation.
Before, I forget what I was saying. Okay, I got it. How many times do you train each muscle a week?
Once.
Once. How many times do you train each muscle a week?
Be honest with you, upper body at least each muscle group twice, and then I do my legs once a week.
Well, yeah.
1 to 2, but it depends, because I'll change training splits every so often.
Okay, so if you do twice, you do push-pull legs?
Yeah.
Okay, and you separate, you got a weird split.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you do. You take like 4 rest days at some point.
It's kind of random.
Me and Taylor are tired.
The research I didn't bring, my invisible paper here, showed that, now again, this is research, this is bro science. We don't really listen to bro science because half the people who do bro science lifting aren't that big.
Wait,
True.
I thought bro science was...
Maybe this
science.
is real
No,
science.
the people
Okay.
who do real science aren't that
So
big.
real science aren't that big. This is not bro science. This is going into real science. They showed that training each muscle group 2 times a week was more beneficial than 1 time a week. So if you're trying to get bigger, training it twice a week is the best thing you can do.
Okay.
All right.
Wait,
I don't have
say that again. But where's the window though before you?
So they did a 1 to 3 day analysis, and they showed that 2 was better than 1, and there wasn't enough evidence for 2 compared to 3 times a week. So having training each muscle twice a week, so push-pull legs, was more beneficial than hitting like a bro split.
Can I give you the
And it was
caveat to
under
that?
a cross-sectional analysis of the muscle of the, I believe it was of the quadriceps.
Can I give a rebuttal to that?
Let's get it.
Okay, so the main difference you need to look at when people say high frequency training, which means hitting things, and I get 2 times a week, a lot of people wouldn't even consider high frequency. They'd consider that kind of standard. But to me, it's high frequency, right? Anytime you're hitting something twice or more per week. The difference is if you're like hitting something once a week, like Taylor or I might do, you're doing more volume within that workout, right? So the only difference is if I was to split things up into 2 times a week, which I've tried in the past, the workouts would simply be more condensed, a little bit shorter. So caveat being, the total weekly volume is what counts, rather than looking at it as how many times per week are you doing each muscle.
No,
Not including calves or forearms or abs, smaller muscle groups.
Yeah,
I agree.
I like that. I think the benefit of having it split, so there's 2 things. I personally don't like doing them twice a week for long periods of time. I can do it for like 4 to 6 weeks before I end up hurting myself, which I want to talk about. But I think that doing it more than once a week can be beneficial for some people because you're able to get more volume than what you would be able to, what you're saying over the week. You get more out of 2 sessions versus 1. And the other thing is, like, a lot of people can't push themselves hard enough in one long session to get the benefit out of that. Like, depends on who you are. But I would say most people would be better off doing 2 moderately intense sessions versus trying to push through one really hard session, because I would say 99% of people cannot make it through that one intense session.
Well, I'm pretty sure again, this is looking at science. I'm pretty sure they looked at bigger muscle groups. They didn't look at like the bis and tris or any of the smaller calves. But it's pretty much just saying training twice a week gave better outcomes. And I don't know. I think it was trained athletes from like 18 to 25. So like maybe like a year or 2 of experience.
But there is a big difference between an athlete and a bodybuilder.
That's true. So I'd have to look at it. I don't have the papers. I left them at work.
Well, But you also they don't do studies on bodybuilders, unfortunately. So
We could start.
The other thing for me that I find is like, and the reason I like training once a week more often is I almost get to a point where if I'm hitting it twice a week, it's almost too much. Like, I'm having those 2 intense sessions. I can maintain it for maybe like 4 to 6 weeks before I almost start to like get a negative response.
feel run down.
Yeah.
And Taylor's making a good point, because for more advanced training, that's like something you would cycle in and out. It's not something you would indefinitely do, right? So you could have a training block where you train a certain body part or weak point, like high frequency, or you can even do everything high frequency 2 times or more per week, but that's going to be only for a shorter duration of time, or a specific duration of time before you hit a wall where it's impeding your recovery.
Well, I feel like, dude, even like that a little bit when it was like 2 months ago. I came down and I had that one session with you. It was me and my buddy Jaden.
Yep.
And you walked us through your routine that day instead of doing my normal routine, and we did a lot of drop sets that day. I incorporated that for like the next 4 to 6 weeks, and I felt great in that window. But once I got past that 6 to like 8 week window, my body felt so worn down. I was like, all right, I got to go back to my normal, just top set, drop set, be done.
Yeah, the intensity techniques are nice. You gotta really be careful kind of how you implement them because it can really wear you out.
So nutrition's also a big factor too. If you're eating properly and you're sleeping right, that is very, very important. Depending on your intensity in your training.
We'll come back to that. So going back to the push-pull legs, I'm not a fan of it because I'm already in there for 2.5 hours. If I were to do 3 muscle groups instead of just 2, I'd be in there for like another hour. So that's me. That's me to try and hit everything though.
How many workouts do you do per group?
What do you mean?
Like if you had your push.
I try to at least do 4 and 4.
When you're doing push-pull
chest and I don't do push-pull legs. I haven't done it. I've never. Okay. I used to hit legs in the morning before school, and then I'd go and hit another workout later. So if I would split up into 2 workouts, then I would. But that's like college me. I don't do that anymore. Like my sleep.
That's where you got time. There's no time for that now.
There's no time. No time at all. There is time. I just don't make the time. Go ahead,
Taylor, say what needs to be said. I know we're about to think of this. We need to sit young Isaac down and tell him the truth.
You're doing too much.
Yo!
I was waiting for it.
You should not be able to maintain an intensity for 2 hours. Like, you should not be training for 2 hours. If it's serious. So like, there's one thing to go to the gym and have fun and like lift weights for 2 hours. That's one thing.
Come lift with me.
But like if I'm doing push-pull legs, I mean, how long do you think our workout lasted?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That was
Was it
with
legs
3
or
of us.
what
No,
you
we
guys
did
do?
push.
We did push.
And you hit chest, shoulders, and triceps.
Yes,
Yeah.
and by
There's 3 of us.
we were there for maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and I looked at Taylor. I was like, dude, I'm cooked.
And what'd you hit?
We did a good.
Like you did 4 sets of bench, 4 sets of shoulders, 4 sets of tries?
No, that's asinine.
Ain't no way.
Now you that to me at that point you're doing too much, and you're overtraining at that point when you're that far into a workout. If your intensity is high enough.
That's the thing. I can't do that because I'm dead. I wouldn't be able to do push-pull legs because I would have to do 4 chest, and I couldn't do shoulders out of that because I'd be fried.
But why do you think you need to do 4 chest exercises?
That's the way I was raised.
But have you ever tried something different?
Like what, 2?
Yeah.
I can't do that, man. So I feel like I'm not training.
So
enough.
our split, we started with a fly, and then we did an incline press, Smith press, and then we finished with like a cable chest press for chest. And so we did 3 movements. I think there's probably like 2 hard sets.
I
We
can
did
get away
that.
with
Remember,
3.
don't forget that warm up superset we did in the beginning with the
Right,
shoulder
yep,
raise
that
machine
was the
and
flat.
that. And even with that, just the warm up sets. I'm not gonna lie, man. Just doing those 2 warm up sets, I was cooked.
So how do we go to retro?
Don't start.
But the thing I was going to say is the reason a bro split, you typically see like the science-based community does more like push-pull legs type thing, higher frequency, because the science shows what you're bringing up. But then when you look at a bro split, that's actually what most pros do, is a bro split.
Right.
And there's a reason for that, because they're training at such a level of intensity and effort that it's harder to do things twice a week, just purely from a recovery standpoint, because they're applying that much effort to each body part. So that's why a bro split is actually also known as a pro split, because it's something common amongst the pros. So,
So for that pro split though, the
Yeah.
bro split's pretty much like the chest, tries, back, buys, legs, shoulders. That next day, that normally would be like another chest day for a bro, is typically a bodybuilder's weak point, correct? They train that one twice a week, or no, not necessarily.
is cyclically, yeah. I mean, it depends. Plugging it in and out, right? Like you could do, like, say, like my weak point is my legs.
You
The
do
only
2 leg days?
Yeah, the only thing I train twice a week right now is legs. Now one is more hams and glutes focused, and one is more quad and adductor focused. Okay. So I'm kind of prioritizing different parts of the leg.
You ever feel like you don't do enough?
No.
Never.
This is my thought process with not doing enough, because if you go until you can't, you'll never not do enough. Like if you go to the point where like you physically cannot do another rep, and then you do that for workout or whatever exercise you're doing for another one, Then number 2. Number 3. Eventually, you're into an exercise where you can't even put load on it because you're that cooked.
Well, the thing is, if I don't, and this is just me personally, if I don't do 4 exercises, I don't feel like I accomplished anything.
This sounds a little OCD.
It could be.
I
honestly,
think he's definitely got
could
OCD.
be. I
He's
could.
got it over the top.
We all have it to some degree.
Everybody has that at some point, but he's extreme with it.
To give an example,
It's not a bad thing though.
to give a recent
Keeps me in the
example,
schedule, I guess.
It does.
Taylor and I have trained legs together for the past month. Now every Tuesday do a quad day. And do we ever get past 3 exercises?
I think we only got 3 last time.
Because literally by the time we're done with the 3rd exercise, we're
cooked.
like about to like pass
Right.
out.
My quad, this last time especially, my quads were so, like, it felt like it was in the bone. Like, it was so sore.
Like, I don't think I can
So
leave,
deep.
though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I don't hit 4,
But then that's what like the
but it wouldn't be the best.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
next-
It's junk. What the Renaissance crew refers to as junk volume, which is you're just filling in space at that point. It's not effective working sets anymore.
And then we get to another point. They have studies where more reps and more sets throughout the week gives you better benefits than
On novice lifters.
That could also be. I didn't look into it too much, but yes, more volume equals more gains compared to less volume. And it did a study where going close to failure isn't always good as going to failure. And again, in novice.
How do you know if you did enough?
I don't know. That's the thing. 4 exercises.
You remember what we discussed in the last podcast? We brushed on it a little bit. Failure is, even though it seems like it's an absolute, it's not, because failure is different based on your mindset. If I go into a set of a certain exercise and I'm really fired up and I'm super focused and I'm ready to truly give it my all, it's much different than someone going into it where they're more relaxed, still focused, still training hard. But you can say, okay, this is failure and this is failure. Like, you know what I mean? So the term failure is often used as almost like let's just say it this way. Most people that think they're training to failure aren't really training to failure.
Right.
So what most people think failure is to them probably is a few reps in the tank left. Had they had more mental strength, which is something that comes with time and experience.
Yeah, just going off of training until failure, dude. Saw someone on the leg extension machine today on their phone just going, kicking out. I was like, all right.
See it all the time.
This is bringing to an interesting topic, though, because, like, in my opinion, like, you can't hold. I'm not saying that what he was doing is okay, because I don't think it's okay. You should on your phone.
No, don't get me wrong. They're doing something, right? They're doing something.
No, I'm not okay with them on their phone, like doing like it's. I'm not saying it's okay. Like, yeah, good they're doing something, but I don't think it's okay. What I'm saying though is like we can't hold people to like our standards either, because like what we do is not what even other gym like. I go to the gym.
85% of the people in the gym do not train like we do.
Say 95%.
You're
I would say
probably close to 95. It's probably
5%, baby.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But
No, you are right. It's a higher percentage than that.
yeah, so like to try to hold other people to what we think is, our standard isn't fair to that person, because like it's still like I said, it's still, like most people are just at the gym, be healthy, whatever, and socialize, which is fine.
But is it though?
It depends what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
To the New Year's.
I think it depends.
A good example to give is like when I work with a client and I'm training somebody. When I first begin with a client, the more novice and intermediate lifters are going to have to do longer workouts with more volume, because the effort they're putting into each set, even if they're trying their best, is not the same as an advanced lifter or someone who's been doing this for a few years, because you get more efficient at applying intensity. You can almost say applying intensity is a skill that you get the longer you train. And even more so, applying intensity the right way. Not just moving weight and being aggressive, but feeling it in the right areas and targeting the spot you want to. And I was literally having a conversation with a client this morning who I've been training for over 2 years now. And he was saying the difference in the execution of the workouts is so different now at this point. Because at first we were just doing multiple exercises. And he could keep going because he was in shape, he had great endurance, and he was good to go. Now that he's training harder, he's training heavier and more intense. We don't need to do as much stuff. And he's starting to kind of understand that concept of how bodybuilders train and why they train that way.
Now, do you train? You want to go over?
Yeah, I want to talk. So, like, back to the intensity, like, controlled, like, not control, but what you're saying about intensity, I agree, is a skill. And I think that being able to utilize, like, controlled aggression and controlled intensity is huge.
Yep.
And, like, when I see people, like, go and like just thinking people like slapping their face and like screaming and things like that. Like to me, like that, it almost makes me like laugh.
It's artificial.
It makes me angry.
It's really not real.
It's the illusion of intensity.
Yes, because like true intensity is like silence, like set up, and like really like lock in, deep breath, and then go.
It's all bark.
Look at Eddie Hall, first 500 kilogram deadlift, didn't say a word, just went out there.
Yeah, but like that's true intensity.
Yeah.
Like to be able to create that type of space in your mind is insane.
Yeah.
Like so few people understand how to create that, like the mindset that you need to be able to create to do something like that, to go to that place.
And going back to like it being a skill, like you would always hear people say like in the golden era of bodybuilding, Arnold training, right? Like the guys, they would be together in the gym training, having a good time, and they'd be like laughing in between sets, joking. And they said Arnold was so efficient that he would be like telling someone a joke 1 second in between a set, and he would just dial in, and he would be so intense and apply so much effort to a set. And it is really a skill set, because the more you do this, the better you get at turning on, turning off, turning on, turning off.
Sounds like me.
And that's not something anyone can just do.
But going back to what you're saying earlier, give me like the general, like for your job, you're a trainer, correct? Personal trainer. Mm-hmm. Who do you typically see, like people who just started, people who have been seeing you for a while? I know you said you have one person who's been training for a while, but like who's your typical clientele? Is it new people or people who've been
Like the demographic I work with the most
Correct.
is the 50 and over community.
Oh, so older.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like your community.
That's like my community. Except these are probably in better shape.
Probably.
You said 50 and over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most of my clients are like that demographic. Not for any particular reason. That's just what comes to me, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I think these are guys that they're established in their careers. They take it seriously, and by the time they come on board with me, it's like a serious goal. It's not just like it's not a newbie. These are people who have been into this for years before they met me. They're people that are in shape. They're people that are already training, and they're ready to take it to a different level. And they have the time and money to commit to it. You know what I mean? And
Now, do you train women as well?
yeah.
How do their workout plans differ for you?
I can't say it really changes whether it's male or female. It's more about the level of experience.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I've never really. The only thing I know that's different is that girls tend to have they can maintain like a higher volume, I think.
With lower body, I would
Well,
say.
they don't. Yeah, I feel like they don't go as heavy. Like,
No, it depends.
I mean, so if you take a serious female bodybuilder athlete, I would still say that they can maintain like a higher volume than a male, and I'm pretty sure research.
oh, well, I'm not that.
Well, they have more like muscle cells in their lower bodies. That's like a fact, right? Like it's.
I'll be next week then.
Cover that next week.
No, I think that's a thing.
Okay.
They just have
No
the
doubt.
capacity for like endurance and like just lower body capacity, leg training. And then when you think about it, at the same time, like what do most girls, even in respective categories for competition, where is the judging focused? Not every division, but typically lower body development. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With more of an emphasis on legs, glutes, things like that. Unless they're literally a bodybuilder, then obviously they're more well-rounded with everything. But
Right.
I'm saying most of the divisions, most women get into the gym what they're going to achieve.
Correct. Yeah. So now we got that. Anything you guys want to add before? Want to go to the next one?
No, if you have some
Well, this is a completely different topic.
totally different topic,
I think it's
we go.
written down there. What's that say?
rest days.
That's exactly where I'm going.
That's not a totally different topic.
The way we were just talking about?
I mean, we're still
Sorta.
talking about we're talking about training.
Why would somebody who doesn't have them want to talk about it?
Exactly. To get you guys on my level. So, this wasn't recorded first, I don't think. Maybe it was.
I don't know.
How many rest days you take? 2.
Right now, too.
2?
Yeah.
2.
Anywhere from 4 to 3 to realistically 3 to 2. 2 to 3.
When Taylor started doing, what was it, when you were either competing or doing 2 jobs or something, I come in, he's like, you lifted? Nah, I only lift 3 days a week. Like, how are you so big and only lift 3 days a week?
Because
Efficient.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, no,
The
I
efficiency
understand, but it's
of
just
the
like
session.
funny because people try so hard, and he's like, "Nah, I'm just gonna lift 3 days."
but he is trying harder. It's just doing it in 3 days.
I would say that one of my 3 days is harder than 6 of the normal.
Absolutely, 100%.
And also, you have to look at something like this. I'm sure he's not training 3 days a week when in prep for a show.
Correct.
So you have to look at something, right? When you're going for size, when your goal is to gain muscle, when your goal is to improve body parts, you want more rest, more food, less days in the gym. Now, why is that? Because if you're in the gym more days, you're burning more calories. So you have to understand, say you're someone who's eating 3,500 calories, but you're only training 3 days a week. Your net calories are going to be higher because you're not burning off as many, which is more likely to put you in a surplus, which is going to put you in a better ideal scenario for growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Vice versa, pre-contest. Say I have someone, say the only thing you change going from off-season to pre-contest is not even the diet itself, but just the training frequency. You're going to be burning more calories right then and there. That's already the first step of entering our prep right there. I go from training 3 days a week to training 6 days a week. I'm in the gym more days, I'm burning more calories. So right there, you're putting yourself into more of a deficit. So you have to understand, it's almost like a seesaw. You know, and how many people do you know, bodybuilders, that love going to the gym, and like someone like you that doesn't take many days off? Well, why is it? Is it because you really think it's better, or is it because you just love being in the gym?
I just love being in the gym.
So that's the case with most bodybuilders, right? And you know how many guys I've known over the years that go to the gym 6-7 days a week, and then you finally convince them, do a 4-day split. Best gains of my life. You know what I mean? They're just recovering, they're gaining tons of size, and it's like you want to be in the gym, you're antsy, you hate taking days off, and that's good because you want to build that up. And you're going to grow better that way, typically. I'm not saying you can't bulk and go to the gym more frequent days.
As long as you eat enough.
Exactly. In general, you want to have lower volume workouts when you're aiming for growth. Higher intensity, lower volume, more calories, more rest.
Now, is that just growth in general, or lean bulk, or just
Either or.
either or, just depending on what you eat?
Yeah, that's all about food intake.
How
It
many
all
rests?
comes down to recovery.
Right. How many rest days do you take now?
I would say 2 to 3.
It's okay, so you upped it a day.
But then what will you do? What will you do in prep?
Like 1 maybe, if I'm lucky.
Exactly.
And that'd be stairs still, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Hour.
No, I don't know. But like if the goal, if your goal is truly build muscle and or be a good bodybuilder, then you should do the things that would make you the best bodybuilder, the best athlete, which would be not training as much, even though you enjoy training. Totally different scenario if you just train because you enjoy training and you like being big. Like, you can still get big and look good training more often. But if your goal is to be the best bodybuilder that you can possibly be, then it makes sense to employ the tactics that would do that.
Right.
Which would be changing your split up. So it really depends on the goal. You know? 'Cause like if I could train every day and it would still give me my goal, I would do it. But I really think it's more effective for me to
Take more rest days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you also work crazy hours too. So
Right.
But that's not even why he's doing it.
Yeah, because I would make it work if I had to.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And to give some real life examples of names that most people would recognize, back in the golden era of bodybuilding, the typical split was the same. It was literally like push-pull legs. You're training 6 days a week. You're hitting everything twice a week. That was the standard split that
Right.
most of the guys did
They were huge
because
back then, too.
because that was Arnold's split. But then you come along with Tom Platz. What did Tom Platz say in many interviews? He says, I tried going out to Golds and training with those guys. I got smaller. He was like, it never worked for me. When I trained 4 days a week, super intense, I grew like a weed. Then you have Menser. And, you know, Arthur Jones, the godfather of high intensity training, who was the influence of Menser and all those guys, he preached higher intensity, lower volume. Lo and behold, a lot of guys jumped on the bandwagon, got bigger and better than ever. Then you have Dorian Yates, who most people by modern standards recognize him for the low volume, high intensity. So these are guys that went against the grain, and they realized training harder but less frequent actually led to more muscle gains.
Going on back to Tom Platz, he said he trained legs once a month sometimes.
I was going to say that.
What do you think about that?
I think that the way that he trained legs, I can totally believe that.
Because he trained so hard, you couldn't possibly
But you
do
don't
that.
think they recovered in time?
I'm not saying that they didn't recover in time, but like,
He's a caveat because it was also his like strong point.
Right.
I don't think that was the beginning of his career. I think that's when he was already developed.
like peak,
Okay.
peak Tom Platz was probably the train
Okay.
legs, like maybe twice a month. That's,
I remember when, to give like a story from personal experience, when I first met Dennis James, he put me through a leg workout. And he asked what I was currently doing. And I said, you know, right now I'm really trying to bring up my legs. I train 3 times a week. He started laughing. he was like, yeah, once we train legs, you'll realize you shouldn't do that. We got done training legs, and I was literally crippled. And he says, could you have done this more than once a week? And I said, no. He was like, okay, there's my point. And I remember that night, I actually had to sleep downstairs on the couch. I couldn't get up the steps. I'm not kidding. I literally couldn't. My legs just wouldn't stop cramping and locking up. I couldn't make it up the steps. And it's just a testament to bodybuilders' higher intensity, right? So when you're applying that much effort, it takes that much more recovery. And that's kind of where, going back to our prior topic, the bro split or the pro split, that's why it came to be.
Gotcha. Okay. So going back to rest days, I take one. But again, it's just because I love being in the gym. It's tough for me to leave.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm in there. Don't worry, I get my work done. But I'm also...
Get the jaw workout.
You're also the mayor of the gym, so you got to talk to everybody.
I'm the mayor. I am the mayor.
So...
I got to make sure that people vote for me 2024, 2025. almost the end. When's the election? I don't even know. So...
What split do you do? Is it push-pull legs?
No, I can't do that. I spend way too much time in there.
Right, so
The thing is, it's not even that I
So you
spend
do
too
one
much
body
time.
part a day?
I do one or two. So it's not even like that. I won't spend too much time. It's just I can't. If I do chest, I can't hit shoulders. Like it's just too painful. Like if my chest is already cooked, my shoulders are already cooked. You know what I mean? I can do like maybe like two things for shoulders, but at that point, if I don't hit, if I don't hit 3 or 4, I'm just like, what's the point? So, but sometimes I will just hit chest. Sometimes I'll hit chest and tries, depending on how cooked I am.
So something you could do, and this is something I've done, and I've told you about this, and I did this for a period of time, sometimes I still do. For example, Monday is my chest and delt day, right? Mm-hmm. Typically. Week 1, I'll do a lot of chest. I'll do my heavy compounds for chest. I'll do my high intensity techniques for chest. And I'll do more volume and sarcoplasmic work, pump work for delts. Mm-hmm. The following week, I'll start with delts. I'll finish with chest. I'll do my progressive overload, my heavy compounds, my intensity techniques for shoulders. I'll do more volume-based training for chest. So you're you're getting a good workout in for both, but the way you're splitting it up is so each alternating weeks, you're prioritizing the heavy-duty work for one, and then the other one's more pump work, which kind of feeds off each other really well in terms of recovery and effort.
Speaking from experience, like that's probably my favorite split. They have
that
a bi-weekly split like that.
I don't mind that. It's just like, again, if I don't get a good chest workout one, like if I do shoulders,
You just like to bench heavy, that's why.
Well, no, yes, but no. If I were to do shoulders and then just a little bit of chest, I won't feel as accomplished if I did shoulders one day, chest another day, and I went really good for both.
Yeah,
You know what I
That's
mean?
fair, yeah.
I do the bro split.
I will say that if I am going to do a single body, if I am going to do like a train every day, I'll isolate body parts. Like I'm only going to hit chest. I'm not going to hit anything else with chest for the same reason I said before. Where like if I try to hit chest and something else, by the time I hit chest that second time that week, it's just no good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like when I do a higher frequency split, like that's how I would typically set it up.
Okay. No.
What's your split?
Push pull legs off, push pull, and then off again. I just restart every other week. Just do the same. That's the most results I've seen doing it that way. I get better workouts like that. I feel like if you're not looking forward to a rest day, you're not training hard enough. You should be looking forward to the day that you're like, all right, I'm actually ready to take a day off, because if you can't have a rest day, then it tells me that you're not training hard enough.
It is crazy though, because a lot of people mentally can't, like for whatever reason, cannot do it.
No,
They need like.
and it comes down to mental toughness, man. And it's like, and
I'm mentally weak.
everybody sitting at this table can attest, man. Especially in today's world, man, there's more weak people than there are strong people. And I'm not even talking about physical strength. I'm talking about mental strength.
But then that brings up a good point. A lot of the reason people do go to the gym every day is for mental health.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because having an outlet is important.
Yep.
It's very
You know?
important.
So
That's how we all start. Well, not all of us, but some of us started like that. I forget. We did that last.
Well,
no, go ahead.
I'm a complete change topic, so if you have something.
Okay, I was just going to say, the gym is habitual, and it's something you love to do, so there's nothing wrong with going every day. I was going to say, if you are someone that likes to go every day and you don't want to take days off for that reason, for structure, habit, just clearing your head, it's okay to have days where you go a little lighter. Active recovery, more or less, right?
That's what I typically do.
Get more of a pump, don't run yourself into the ground, and you can still you'll make progress. So nothing is set in stone. So all the things we're doing are just recommendations. There's a million ways to go about it.
And I really do like the fact, like, definitely for me, I noticed that whenever I am going, like, more, like, when I'm, for example, in prep, or like when I'm doing, like, a 6-day split or something like that, I do notice that I get much more efficient with my routine. And, like, I just feel...
And that's a big part of the reason you go more days during prep is purely for routine and structure.
Yep.
Because that's such an important part of prep, you know.
But I can get, like, why people like going every
Yeah,
day.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
just
No, I mean,
comes down to goals and, like...
Yeah, it's like Taylor said, like, all of us would be in the gym every day if that was the way to do it.
Right.
The only reason we don't, it's not because we don't want to be in the gym, it's because we think that's not essentially the best way to go about our goals.
Yeah, but no, like, I don't know. It's just something. It's my favorite place to be if I'm not there.
Oh, yeah.
But like the first thing I do is as soon as I walk in that powerhouse.
Oh, that's all.
You know what I do?
All our schedules.
I look at Taylor's door, like wave to Taylor. What's up, Taylor? If I see him with somebody, I just walk away.
I've had, I mean, even recently, like, I've had, like, days where it's supposed to be off days. And I'm just, like, I just want to go to the gym, so I just go. Well, like I said, it's, like, it's not a planned day, so I'll just get a pump. I'll just go in and do something,
Yeah.
you know,
Fun.
fun.
Makes sense. You said you want to change it.
I was just going to go somewhere else.
Okay. Well, how much of a change are you going?
I was going to ask Devin how he got started.
I was going to say the same exact thing. Let's go.
So we were talking about kind of like how we got started with the gym, and we were just like, how, like, what was there anybody that like introduced you to the gym, or like was there a reason that you got started? When did you get started? How did you get started? Just kind of give us like your backstory a little bit of like what got you to the gym.
When I first started lifting, I was 17 years old. I was in high school. I played football. I played basketball. I had the mindset when I was younger. I was the tallest kid pretty much in my grade, so I thought my height was going to take me and carry me through everything. That I didn't have to worry about it.
How tall are you?
6'5".
How tall are you?
6'1".
So
You're taller than 6'1".
Almost 6'1".
You're like 6'3".
No.
Yeah. I'm
Not
like
true.
6'3".
Well, every time I get my height checked,
5'10".
5'11". For the record, you're taller than 6'1".
but nah, I just going into my my junior year, we had a football coach that came in and like pretty much put it down. I was like, if you're not going to be in the weight room in the off season, you're not playing. He goes, I can't tell you this. He goes, but I'm telling you this. So that's when I started, and I started to enjoy it. I went from dressing one way to dressing to another way, and once my clothes started to fit me a little differently, I started wearing form-fitting clothes, and I enjoyed that. And then once I graduated high school, that was full throttle for me. Sports were over, and that's when I really took it up, and I replaced my sports with the gym, and that was like the thing that gave me my happiness and my... Because it was sports for so long, like all my days revolved around playing football and playing basketball and getting ready for it was either off season or we were in season.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Once that was over and I lost that, now I replaced that with the gym.
And I think that's an important thing to talk about right there, is because a lot of people, I think, in high school are like these crazy athletes or are really active doing things like that, and they leave high school and
They fall off.
they totally fall off.
Yep.
again, it's a structure.
Or college, too.
Yep, college athletes, I mean, it's just like there's nothing to take that place of that.
Really set back, yeah.
But what did you like? Did the football team kind of give you a split? Did the coach give you a split? Like, how did you?
Yeah, my football coach gave us a split. It was honestly, it was like it is right now. It was pretty much your push-pull leg split. But going through high school, playing sports, your main lifts were bench, squat, deadlift. Those were the only three lifts that mattered. And now in today's world, my personal opinion about all three of those lifts, they're stupid.
That's what I was just going to ask you about.
Yeah, no, I think all three of those main lifts, you do not need either three of those to get big or jacked.
Then. We talked about this last time. What's your thoughts on the bench press? You hate it.
Oh, I think it's the dumbest workout in
You
the
came
gym.
from a powerlifting background, correct?
Yeah.
So, do you think it was necessary for where you are now?
I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say no.
No, not at all.
I don't think so at all, because with what I was taught and the way I was trained growing up, being on a powerlifting team, it wasn't, you didn't care about your form. It was literally just get the weight up.
Really?
Just move, well, honestly, with the team that I worked out with, it was a... We're not going to get into that. We didn't lift together.
No?
I know the crew.
He knows who I'm talking about, and he knows where I'm going with that. And I'm not going to throw out no names or like that.
Well, I'm not going to say the names, but I'm going to say the crew you ran with was actually a pretty prominent crew in our area.
Yes.
And a lot of the kids from our school that were athletes trained with them.
Yes.
And they were good, but they focused on geared lifting.
Yes.
Because they focused on geared lifting, assisted with bench shirts, squat suits, the training was more of a West Side barbell type of training, and it was purely strength.
Yeah.
Versus the coaches I grew up with, it was all about raw lifting, and it was actually kind of hybrid bodybuilding, more of a standard progressive overload and hypertrophy included as well. With him, it was purely strength, how much weight you can move using the
and
equipment.
it's just like it got to the point where that's how I messed my shoulder up, and I haven't been the same since.
So if you could go back, would you train the way you train, or would you change the way you trained?
If I knew what I knew now,
You would change it.
I would change the way I lifted then, because I would be training and food. I'd eat totally different too. Because without proper nutrition and the proper training, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
So, would you think that you'd be as strong as you are now if you didn't have that background? Or do you feel like that played a big role in how strong you are?
I would say I don't want to say it played a big role, but it definitely played a role, because when I was benching regularly, at that point in time, those numbers were heavy. Mm-hmm. Like I was doing 315 for sets of 15, I was doing 365 for 3 sets of 10. Mm-hmm. At that time.
Right.
Could I do that now? Hell no. I'm gonna be honest with you. There ain't no way I'm touching that, and I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me anymore. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not getting on a barbell bench, and I don't need to put weight on the bar for me to feel like I'm having a successful session.
So, in regards to hypertrophy, don't need it.
Me personally, I have seen more results with all my body parts with dumbbell work, cable work, and machine work.
But then that goes back to maybe that's because you're 6'5".
It very
Because
well
you have
could
such
be.
long limbs, because you have such a long range of motion on those compound lifts, they're not going to necessarily be the best isolation movements. It's going to take every muscle in your body for a guy your height to do those compound lifts. And the range of motion is the limiting factor. So for someone like you, I can totally understand that point where you would find more benefit in dumbbells, cables, etc.
Yeah. And you very well could be right. I can't say that because I have been 6'5" since I was a sophomore in high school. So,
Wish I had that problem.
like for me, I can't say that it would be any different if I was 6 foot versus me being today where I'm 6'5". I just know where I'm at right now in my training. I see more results with dumbbells, machines, and cables.
And you're recently coming back from an injury,
Yeah.
so you feel like you've been progressing pretty well.
Oh yeah, listen, man, and
How much do you think that set you back wise?
that injury? Mm-hmm. Oh, that injury with my strength at that moment in time, I could grab the 150-pound dumbbells and rep them out. I don't even know if I could do those right now.
Yeah. What about when you got injured? So you were repping 150s. What did it go down to after?
Right now, I can probably.
You've been recovered for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, initially.
Oh, initially I couldn't even do the 100-pound dumbbells when that happened.
Okay.
What was the injury?
I pinched something in my neck while I was doing an overhead press because at that time, and it comes down to form again, I had my traps pinched back, my neck bulled up like this, and I was pressing overhead, and I pinched something in my neck.
This big guy's been working on him ever since.
Yeah, honestly, it has because that's how I went. I met Taylor in the gym, and I couldn't do any. It wasn't that injury that introduced me to him. It was the nagging injury that I've had in my trap, but that injury was slowly starting to creep up to me when I finally continued to lift that I was lifting the way I was lifting incorrectly with the form that I was doing. It finally reached its peak where it was like, you just overloaded way too much, and I literally felt the pop in my neck and ran down into my trap, into my middle trap, into my scap, and into my lat. And this whole my fingers got numb, and like this whole side just wanted to stop moving.
Taylor, what does it sound like to you? An impinged nerve or something?
Yeah, it's definitely.
It was awful.
We could definitely add that to this, like trap compensation during workouts. It's big.
Oh, it's huge. I see it all the time.
Everybody
It's the
does
number
it.
one thing I see, dude.
Yes.
Shoulders back.
People use their traps and not their lats or any. Like literally, people's back is all traps.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I'll say for sure since I started training back with Taylor a handful of times, probably the main cues I learned are just keeping shoulder set down, keeping your shoulder and traps out of it, and engaging more lat.
See, that's the thing. I've never had that issue, and I don't know.
I've never either.
It's just something that you see, and then you see it, you're like,
I definitely.
where are you feeling that? You feeling that in your
So
shoulder?
I also think that comes down to too, like, it comes down to who you've surrounded yourself with when you were growing up. Like,
True. Yeah, my dad taught me.
I was around people who egotistical lift, and it was just move the weight. Doesn't matter how to get it there, just get it there. So it was. I was literally taught, and this is no joke, to pinch your traps together and stay tight on the bench the entire time.
That's how I was taught too. I mean, I assume that's probably how you were taught.
I mean, to this day, that's how powerlifters teach bench. You want to
Right.
be retracted in the shoulders and be in a powerful position here.
But not your traps.
It's totally,
just your shoulder.
totally
blades,
Your
though.
shoulder blades, but I'm saying like some people misunderstand it, I guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then you need to be able to rotate your shoulder blades underneath you and then open up.
Like this.
Yes.
But keep your chest up.
Yeah.
Once you showed me
Chest
that,
up.
you showed me that a few times, man, that was a complete game changer.
The problem with it is that it forces you to actually use more of your chest and less compensatory muscles. So when people try to do it,
They are weaker.
They're weaker right off the bat.
Oh,
but they're not willing to stick with it for a little bit and actually get, because they will get stronger.
Yep.
But because they're weaker right off the way, they're like, oh, fuck that. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I remember I messaged you the one day. I kept asking you questions about if this would work, and you literally at that point in time you gave me tough love, and you were like, listen, man, if you don't stop lifting like an idiot, you know, you're never gonna, this injury's never gonna heal, you know. And I had to check my ego at the door because I've been one of those guys, but I'll be the first to tell you, I feel like weight is sometimes more important than anything, and I've had to tell myself that that's not important, especially lifting with you guys. You know what I mean?
The big thing is like, what?
You mean you guys, right?
I meant you guys. Did you not see what I did here? I said you guys.
I saw this.
No. I meant you guys.
I mean-
Because even you too, man. Like I'm not, and you have said it too. Like when we're lifting, like stop worrying about the weight. Just worry about making sure your form is proper and you're contracting the muscle where it needs to be contracted, and just doing those small things. I've seen a complete change in my physique already in the last year just by focusing on that more so than worrying about load.
And load is important to a point.
For sure.
If you can't fire things the way you want to under that load, it's kind of all for naught. I've had people ask me before, like it might seem relatively heavy what I'm lifting, but it's nowhere near like if I wanted to lift, like truly lift heavy, it's not even close to like what I could lift.
Yeah.
But again, like what's the point in doing that? I'm not gonna be. It's not going to be
Absolutely.
for my purpose. There's no reason. I'm much more likely to hurt myself. So just to hit a certain number.
He's a banger legend.
Stop, man. No, you're more of a legend than I am at that school.
Now, going back to rest day, we could probably put a check on this.
Check on rest days?
I think so.
Okay, I'll put check.
Come back around to it.
We're gonna tie into that overtraining.
Okay, fair.
So we talked about this. I think the camera's off. I don't know. We could have been repeating ourselves. I don't even know what was on.
Well, let's just go with it.
Is overtraining a thing?
Yeah, but it's more complex than the term itself.
Okay.
I
Agree?
yeah.
I agree with him. Yeah, I definitely do.
Now, I don't know who said this. They said overtraining is not a thing if you get enough food and enough sleep.
Well, the limiting factor is most people in the gym are probably already putting forth more of a workload than their nutrition can catch up with.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And how many people actually eat right?
I don't know. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. It's just the topic I had
Yeah.
for
No,
discussion.
it's a legit topic.
So, like if you look at pro athletes like Michael Phelps, for instance, all right, I think they said he ate maybe 10 to 12,000 calories
It
a
was
day.
insane.
I take it
And
with
he's skinny as all heck.
yeah, but take it with a grain of salt. You don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true.
I mean, obviously, media is always going to hype things up to the 10th degree.
It's true.
Is he literally eating? So, for example, say like people come interview me. What's the biggest day of eating you've ever had? I could say, 10,000 calories for sure. From Thanksgiving, Christmas, man, I eat my regular meals and eat whatever else I can on top of that. Easily over 10,000 calories. Is anybody doing that day in and day out? Absolutely not. And I don't believe it for a second.
So you think that if okay, well keep going. I'll come back to it.
No, I'm saying Michael Phelps probably had a very high calorie intake due to his activity level because he would literally swim for hours and do laps and drills and all sorts of different things. So his workload was insanely high. Just like you hear of long distance runners who have very high carbohydrate diets, things like that, because they need fuel and glycogen. But do I think anyone consumes 10,000 calories on a regular basis or ever has? I don't.
Eddie Hall, I'm sure does.
Strongman is a different ballgame.
Yeah, because even in the mountain, he consumes almost 8,000 to 10,000 calories.
Yeah, but again, all these videos and full days of eating, they're always going to do what hype gets the most views, the most clicks, the most likes.
True.
Does anybody eat that much every day? I doubt it.
What about
If
the-
anyone does, it's strongmen for sure.
What about the world's biggest people? You see their diets?
Are you talking
Yeah,
about
people that have
let's not sugarcoat it.
people that have like emotional binge eating disorders and like literally obsessively eat? Probably.
Well, yeah, sure.
But
Are you talking about obese people?
I remember there's been a few cheats I've had in prep where there's been quite a few thousand calories I was able to put down without even thinking about it.
You can go to like any fast food place and get like 2 small sandwiches, and you're eating 1,000 calories right there. Are any of us going to go to like any fast food place and only get 2 small sandwiches?
No.
I'm going to get like 8, a large.
I'm gonna tell you
fry,
my
like,
biggest and heaviest meal, and I did this in one sitting. I went to a Chinese buffet once.
Not just once.
Not just once. But I went to the Chinese buffet that night. I literally had about 3 or 4 plates there.
What was the date?
Oh, this is
a really epic night.
I was probably 23 or 24 at the time. Just got surgery on my leg. My cousin and I went to the buffet. I had 3 or 4 plates there, left there, got McDonald's on the way home. I had 2 Big Macs, 2 large fries, and 2 chicken nuggets.
Okay, so that's literally like the McDonald's alone is like 3,500,
Easily.
4,000 calories.
And I ate all of that before I even got back to the house, and then ate again when I got home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my bulk diet. We got to come back. I don't even know where we were, but going off of that, this is when after I was done with soccer, I decided to eat as big as possible. My breakfast was 4 cups of chocolate milk, 2 egg white omelets with ham and cheese, 2 egg bagels with bacon and cheese,
Like regular sized bagels.
regular sized bagels, a bowl of cereal, and yogurt with chocolate chips and
You seriously would be able to put all that down, and you did that every
All
day.
of it. Every day, but I only ate 3 times a day because of classes.
Oh, okay.
But you
I think
probably ate like
But then I'd
3,000 calories 3 times.
Then
a
I'd
day.
have 4 to 6 pieces of chicken with rice and broccoli, and I'd do that twice, or fish, or whatever they had. And that was my bowl. And I'd have yogurt if it was an option. And then
That's a lot
after
of
that,
food.
I'd get Ben and Jerry's and eat the whole quart.
That's literally what does Ben and Jerry's have?
1,200 calories.
1,200 calories right there.
so, yeah.
So I always tell clients this: the general person doesn't understand if you eat out or you eat fast food, you don't understand how many calories you're getting in one sitting. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is.
But what I was saying before is like, is someone actually eating 10,000 daily or of quality foods daily? You know what I mean? You can eat 5,000 calories of clean food for sure, and I think a lot of bodybuilders do. And then you can easily have a 5,000 calorie cheat, but I don't think anyone's doing that every day.
Right.
No.
It's a lot.
I went from 198 to 250 in about, not a year, but 2 years.
Maybe you were at
That's
that
a
time.
Yeah.
Here's another.
You don't look like you do now, though.
No,
Not even
I
close.
was not a good 250. I
Yeah.
was strong. I was always been
I feel-
strong.
So here's something. I feel like I know I've had my not good 250. I feel like you almost have to have that.
It's true.
Like
Every time you bulk up, well, Taylor knows this, like, every time you do the process, rinse and repeat, you get leaner. You stay leaner. So,
you do.
so I hit, close to, in my early 20s, I hit almost 300 pounds. It wasn't good looking. It was definitely fluffier, right? I graduated high school at 275. But,
I was
and,
185 pounds.
but what I'm saying is, like, just in our last podcast, I weighed 297 point something, like, before we did the podcast, and I ate again after that. But I have abs, like, you know what I mean? So every time you cut down, it's easier than the previous time. Every time you bulk back up, you stay a little bit leaner than the previous time. And that's why you have a lot of these top bodybuilders who, their metabolisms are so efficient and they've done this process so many times. They're literally walking around at 300 with like 6-packs and eating tons of food. And at that point, it's literally almost hard to get fat because your body is so efficient at putting the food to the muscle and your metabolism is going at such a high rate. So, and that's really, if we want to delve into nutrition, you want to make your body a food processing machine. And that's going to make you a better athlete or bodybuilder over time.
turn it into a furnace, but you gotta feed it, and that's the thing that people don't realize.
That's where I struggled until you guys started helping me. I didn't eat enough.
You gotta eat.
Well, I remember you telling me sometimes you don't eat like once or twice a
Twice a
day,
day.
dude. And I'd be like, dude, I don't know how you're doing that. I get hangry, dude, when I don't eat my food.
But I mean, I maintained I was fine, but it wasn't until I started eating like 5 times a day where I saw actually
Yeah, no, your transformation, man, over the last year has been insane.
crazy.
You just hang out with bigger people, you just get bigger.
It's true.
That's why I'm hanging out with you guys now.
But going back to, you ever something to add
I
before?
was just gonna say because you said about in your bulking diet, you had vegetables in your bulking diet.
I had veggies.
Why?
Why? I
I said why.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Whatever I could fit on my plate. I tried to keep it a clean bulk.
No, you can't say clean bulking.
Okay, I wasn't.
And then a thing, a tub of Ben and Jerry's, bro.
Rich Piana disciple.
I had the tub of Ben and Jerry's every night.
Because Rich did it.
Just because it's so good. Like
Of course it's good. I know it is.
You guys don't know how quick I eat. I don't know if anyone's ever.
Are you kidding me? I watched you.
All of us eat quick.
Okay, I eat quick, but he eats a lot. So I'm just gonna put that out there. We went to pho. I mean, finished a whole bowl, and I'm like tapped out. But I don't like salt or
shit's so
broth. But anyway,
We should go get some tonight.
where was I? Oh yeah, I would eat the Ben and Jerry's. Like I can eat ice cream like in an instance. I don't know where I was going with this. What was the question?
Let's talk about ice cream.
Wait, he had a good question.
I was talking about vegetables, and I was going to ask you guys about it too, because like I don't like when I'm like in the off season, I don't eat vegetables.
I do, but I don't prioritize them. So I do, like, for example, 2 of my meals today. Ground beef, 2 cups of rice, and I did a mix of bell peppers, carrots, and spinach, and I cooked it in the beef. They're all low FODMAP. They all digest very easily, low gas buildup, doesn't take up a lot of space in your stomach, and if you cook it with the food, you shovel it down, it kind of goes down easier. Now, am I doing like a cup of asparagus or something in my meals in my off season? No, because you want to save vegetables for when you're lower calorie and you need more volume. And really, if you do too many vegetables, it will impede your digestion, which is something a lot of people don't get. And honestly, if you're eating a lot of red meat and stuff, you're already covering all your micronutrient bases. So vegetables are overrated, I'll say it, for sure.
I agree.
So do you need much of them in your off season? No. Should you sprinkle in a little bit? You could, it's not going to hurt. But if you have too many, it will impede you because it takes up too much space in your stomach for other foods that are more calorie dense. And also, don't get me wrong, vegetables are healthy, but it's like Stan Efferding says, and we're all familiar with the vertical diet, a lot of good principles in there. And there's no better superfood than red meat. That's going to be the most micronutrient dense food you're going to get.
That's like all I eat.
So that's what I'm saying. Vegetables are overrated at times. But like I said, the best time to deploy them is when your food volume is lower, you're lower in calories, you want to add more volume to keep you fuller through the day.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I didn't have any reason.
I was
just trying to eat as much. I would literally face a wall and eat as quick as I could, so I didn't get full.
Put yourself in the corner.
I really did.
What Taylor's saying is, like, say you're going to have like vegetables in every meal when you're bulking, it's going to take up a lot of space in your stomach. It's going to even potentially impede digestion if you overdo it.
Yeah, makes sense, for sure.
And it's almost a little counterproductive. A
Yeah,
greens powder.
I didn't know what I was doing.
A greens powder that's a time you would deploy something like that, a serving of that daily to cover your bases.
Deploy. Like that.
Send in the troops.
Send in the troops. That's it. Send in the vegetables.
Because I like vegetables, I just don't.
Well, I love vegetables.
I love them.
But I'm just saying. So going back. Okay, if anything else before going back to the rest. No, wait. What was I?
I think you should
Overtraining.
replace the vegetables with ice cream when you're going for growth. When you're aiming for growth.
I like
Broccoli
that.
flavored
I can
ice
do that.
cream.
I'm gonna write that down.
So going back to the overtraining principle, if someone were to get 10,000 calories a day, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, would you
10 hours of sleep?
8 to 10 hours of
That
sleep.
sounds good.
That's their full time.
Oh, I think you meant like 10 hours of sleep.
What?
You definitely grow.
No.
That's what I took that.
Let's say they get that much sleep, that much calories. Would be overtraining be a worry for them if they're pro?
It depends on what training you're doing.
That's fair.
Probably not, though. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
No, it'll be enough to recover, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get burnt out from a central nervous system standpoint.
It's true.
It doesn't mean you
Yeah.
can't still beat yourself into the ground and overdo
You
it.
can't bench press every day.
Well, I'm talking about like the
He
swimmer.
would if he could.
Nah, I wouldn't.
If you could.
If I could and not,
If you could do it and that not hurt you and you'd be able to...
I wouldn't do it every day. I don't like it that much.
That is your staple. If anybody asks anybody, what does anybody know Isaac Becker for at Powerhouse Gym? He's the bench press king.
No,
That's
the
what it
mayor.
is, man.
The mayor. I'm the mayor.
It's the bench press he's the mayor of bench press.
Even Big Jim is like, he calls me the mayor.
Shout out to Big Jim for coming up with that. That's perfect. We're going to feature Big Jim soon.
We definitely need to.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I feel like he'd have a lot to say. He seems quiet, but I feel like behind him.
Okay, but when we
Jim's
bring
a
him
lot
in,
to
though,
say.
it's got like the topic of conversation. It's gonna have to be something serious.
Oh, my God.
All right, I'm out of topics now.
out of topics?
I'm out.
What's the next
That's all I
topic?
got.
So whenever you guys are training, like something that I see a lot of people make mistakes with is simply exercise selection. Like to me, again, like, not that I don't think that the bench press can be used, but there's so many other things that are more efficient, more effective for the goal you're trying to get to. Like, it's not even in like my top probably 5 movements for chest. Now, different for you, yes, that's fine.
I'm holding my tongue.
I know, that's fine. But I'm just using that as an example for what I'm trying to say.
I'm with you on that, though.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, people should choose exercises.
My pecs are going crazy right now.
I think people don't have enough of a goal when they're choosing their exercises. Like, some people just kind of choose exercise randomly versus choosing the things that they connect the best with. Like, again, for you, bench press might be a great movement. For me, I'm not going to force myself to do a bench press just because everybody says it's a good movement.
Yes.
It's not, any movement's a good movement, depending on how you execute it. And your leverages and your mechanics.
Right. It depends on how you connect with it and how you feel, though.
The thing with that is you're looking more at a general gym bro lifting. Like bodybuilders, they know what they're doing. Bodybuilders don't really bench.
I was just going to say that if you watch videos of bodybuilders, a lot of them, if you watch videos on like social media,
you don't think?
I don't see a lot of them bench pressing.
Well, I guess the newer ones, the older ones.
I mean, you're weighing it more than I am, but
No, I'm saying that. I mean, look at Ronnie Coleman. He did the same chest workout for years, and I know he's an anomaly. He's an exception. Look at Dallas McCarver. Look at Branch Warren. All these guys did barbell bench press, heavy dumbbell press, dips.
They went heavy too.
Yeah, and it works. Now heavy is a relative term. I might do a bench press workout, and I might just rep 315.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider that heavy?
Will you make that heavy?
Well, yeah, because I'm doing. It's relative. Like, I can bench press 405 for a clean set of 10, and I've done that many times. But I don't usually do that. I'll stop at 3 plates, and I'll do more reps there, and I'll do a drop set, and I get an incredible pump in my muscle connection in my chest. So for someone like me, is 315 heavy? It's heavy if I do high reps. I mean, we covered this a little bit on the last episode. Why is bench press typically not a good movement? Number one, risk of injury. Okay, why is there a higher risk of injury? Because when people bench, it's an ego lift because all they think is, how much can I bench? Nobody wants to put 185 on a bench in a public gym and do it because it doesn't look impressive.
Oh, gosh, that's the reason why I'm not doing it.
No, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of people will avoid bench press unless they can look good and look like they're strong.
But the only way to get good and look strong is to be weak first.
Exactly. So I'm saying, don't say, hey, I'm going to bench, and your max is 405, so you have to do 405. If your max is 405, maybe you're better off doing 225 sets of 20. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a bad movement because it's a movement associated with ego historically. Where do you ever see someone do sets of 10 to 20 on a bench press in the gym? Rarely, if ever.
You really are. You probably are one of the only ones in the gym. You two are probably really the only ones in the gym that when you guys are flat bench pressing, are doing volume work. Everybody else in there are lifting like morons and are doing 3 to 5 reps and they're just worried about throwing plates on the bar.
To give you an example, I haven't done bench press in months. Right now,
you do an incline though.
My workouts change. My chest workout right now is flat dumbbell press, incline barbell press, a fly, and a dip. That's my current chest workout.
You know how many exercises that was?
That's 4.
So
4.
typically, a lot of the times I only do 3 though, because by the time I do 3, my chest is fried. And then once I run through this program that I'm on, the next round of exercises will be completely different exercises. You have to stick to an exercise to see what you get out of it.
Yep.
And a lot of people, and Taylor will, agree with my point on this, don't commit to a movement. Because if you don't commit to a movement for a certain duration of time, how do you know what you're getting out of it?
Yep. It's funny because, like, agree completely. The only difference is I don't change my movements at all. It's like ever. And all I'll change is my rep range. Just like when we lift together, he doesn't really ask me anymore. But the first few weeks it was like, how many reps are we doing? Like every time we would go to a new exercise, I did the same number.
Now I caught on to
15. Next one, how many reps are we doing? 15. Because I'll do that for a certain period of time.
So you're doing progressive overload with the same movements based on reps.
Yep.
The only thing that changes over the course of the progression is the rep ranges. And then once you get to the end rep range, which for you is like
8 to 10.
8 to 10, then rinse and repeat. You'll start back at 15. 20. And then 15, then 12, 10, so on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I didn't get big or strong. I mean, I've been like big and strong, but I didn't get like actually like strong until I started lifting with Taylor for sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, we go from work at whatever place that was right to the gym, and I remember just doing shoulders with him. I never had anything like it. And it's definitely it makes you work harder when you lift with someone who's bigger than you. That's
Oh,
for sure.
100%.
That's why I train legs with Taylor every Tuesday. This Taylor has huge legs.
And Taylor used to, and again, your split does change. Like, I remember we used to do like 3 sets of 12, and I was like, only 3 sets. I was like,
But they're hard.
but
sets.
they were 30-second pauses in between, and it'd be like an incline bench. We do 3
And
sets
that's
of 12,
hard.
and it was tough.
It's hard.
It was tough. But yeah, it's definitely something new. I've never done it before.
The normal person in the gym is taking 5 to 10 minutes between every set.
Yeah.
Think about it.
That's why I look like normal.
That's why they look like dog shit.
But going back to the question, Debbie, you asked me, you could bench 400 every day without any repercussions. Would you do it?
Every day?
Without any repercussions. Yeah, you asked me that same question.
He asked you that same
Was that
question.
you? Oh, if you could do it.
Yeah, probably.
500.
Dude, if you didn't have any repercussions, why not?
If there was no shoulder pain and there was no
Yeah,
injury,
nothing.
I honestly, if I didn't have to worry about it, I might consider it.
But to go back to the initial topic, Taylor rarely trains below 10 reps. 8 to 10 reps is like the lowest you'll go typically, right?
Yeah, I'd really go to 8 even.
Okay, so most people would consider that like higher reps. Because if 9 times out of 10, and this happens to me all the time, I'm in the gym working, someone asks me for a spot. How many reps do they do? Almost always 1 to 5, max. Usually for bench press, it's 1 to 3 on bench press. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the last time I've done a bench press where I've gone below 10 reps. In fact, I would say most of the time it's between 15 to 20. Most of the time. So it's relative, right? And I think it's important to check your ego and lift as heavy as you can between the 10 to 20 rep range. I feel is a sweet spot.
I do too.
So you're saying if I can hit 315 for 20, I can go up.
Yeah.
I thought, why not just keep doing 315 for sets of 20? I think you'll get better chest growth out of that than you will 405 for 10. Just like I think you'll get better chest growth out of 405 for 10 than you will 500 for 3.
Yeah. You tell somebody you do you tell someone you do any exercise for sets of 20 and they'll look at you like you're insane.
You have 3 heads.
Yep. It's so funny.
When we train legs, how many are we doing? 20 reps. I was like, what? We have those
I'm
big
not
bar
looking.
bands on.
I wouldn't look at you
Yeah, I
like
just
you're.
looked at it. It
Like
was
that's
fun.
not like that's. It'd be like, God, this is gonna be hell. Like this is gonna be
Yeah,
awful.
and that's the thing. Like doing heavy compound movements in high rep ranges is much more taxing, and you get much more out of it. And nobody does it because it's hard. It's really hard.
It's very hard.
Actually, just today, I had someone come up to me in the gym. It was a younger kid asking how many sets of everything I do. And that's what I said. I literally said 4. That's what I said. I said, actually, I try to hit 4 of everything what I'm doing. So, there.
And that's
just my OCD.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Now, when you say 4, are you doing pyramids? Are you doing reverse pyramids? Are you doing straight sets? What do you
So
do?
I do 4 sets of 8 to 12 usually, or 8 to 15.
With the same weight? Or at the same weight?
So I always do a warm-up. I got that from you. Always, no matter what exercise, I always do a warm-up now.
Good.
So
You weren't doing that before?
Well,
Yeah,
so
I've
when
done that my whole life.
when I used to lift, I would go bench and I warm up on bench, right? I go all
Yeah.
the way up to whatever, and I not every time, but if I'd max out, I'd max out whatever. But then I go right to dumbbells and just go like the hundreds and just start ripping out hundreds.
Yeah,
And
so-
I go 120.
so
So
that-
now I start at like 55 and work my way
Yeah.
up.
So that brings me to a great point. Next topic, if you guys are ready to move
go
on.
for it.
Warm-ups. There's a great quote that I used to hear growing up from the best powerlifters. Even the best benchers warm up at the bar. And the meaning behind that is there's nothing hardcore about not warming up properly. And I see all the time in the gym today, like say a kid's max bench is 185. He will start at 135.
It hurts me inside when I see that.
And I
Yeah,
see it and I'm
it's
like
more
cringing.
toxic, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if my max bench is 185, I'm doing a warm up at the bar twice. I'm doing a warm up with 95 twice. I'm doing 135. You know what I mean? You're coming up slowly. And it's not just for warming up, it's neural connection.
It's just getting you in the zone too.
Exactly. And
Prevents injury, too.
yeah, and it's smart. And just for when you say you start with flat barbell bench press, right? And then you go into incline dumbbell press. Yeah, you're already warmed up. But the incline bench, it's different biomechanics. It's a different squeeze. It's a different movement. So warming up allows you to prime the muscle from a cognitive standpoint, like a, not cognitive, you know what I mean, from a neural standpoint, to connect with that exercise so you can put out your biggest workload by the time you get to your working sets.
I'm saying I used to, yeah.
To piggyback off that, it's not like you need to do a bunch of warm-up sets after you're already warmed up.
Yeah, you don't need to do a ton.
Yeah, you're already warming up.
Yeah.
You really just need to do one or two to make sure you feel good in that new
Exactly.
that new
Right.
position.
Yeah, what I do now is no weight. I feel like I've always done no weight. But I guess like back then I do no weight, 135, 225, 315, 405. Like I just make jumps like
Yeah,
that.
I will say once you're at a certain weight, like, you can't do 95.
Well, that's what I do now.
220. What do you mean?
I do that. I do 95, 135, 185, 225, 275.
Once I got over 405, I didn't want that much.
No, that's what I do.
Not the lower weights.
Yeah, that's because you said I don't want to get injured.
I would do like bar 135.
What you guys say?
185.
You don't want to get injured.
No.
When did that change?
Huh?
No, I'm just messing with you, man.
The point being, you don't earn any extra points by not warming up properly.
Right.
And you don't look any stronger or cooler by not warming up properly. There's no benefit to it.
And especially for compound movements like a bench press or a deadlift
Yeah.
or squat, like
Well, that's what I mean. It's not like for a cable you need to do 3 building sets to get to your max weight on a cable, single arm cable movement. But for compounds, for sure.
Dude, single arm cable, bro. Cable crew, bro.
I don't know.
then what about just like general warm ups for like not so what we're describing is more like movement specific.
So what I mean, you guys would probably be much more educated on this than I am. I could probably take some notes from you guys. What I do is before every upper body session, I do some simple shoulder rotations, shoulder warm ups, get some blood in the shoulders, some band stuff, and then most of my warming up is just done within each specific movement beyond that. Leg day, if I have time, I like to warm up on the bike, just get the knees lubed up, get some blood in the legs, just so everything's primed and ready to go. Because I have very achy knees. As Taylor's learned, I have arthritic knees already, so I gotta watch myself.
No, I think that most people should do some kind of, especially like shoulder warm up. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, but like 5 minutes of just getting some blood flow in the shoulders,
Yeah.
priming things a little bit, moving things around. And if you have like a specific range of motion impairment or like a injury or things like that, then obviously you need to take the time to address that as part of your warm up. But if you don't have that going, I think some people think you need to spend 30 to 45 minutes stretching and warming up before you even actually start to lift. And I don't think that's necessary. And like I said, unless you have something specific going on, and then you need to be doing a targeted warm up for that, 5 to 10 minutes is more than enough.
Yeah, I literally just grab 2.5s and just do some front raises, rear raises, arm circles, side raises. I grab the band, just do some pull aparts. I just get blood in the shoulders. Or go ahead.
I was gonna say, it does hurt me when I see people grab like a 20-pound dumbbell though and try to do like extra.
They're like trying to look strong in the warm ups.
Like that's not a warm up. Like you're not warming up.
Yeah. A question for you guys, the PTs, the doctors of the room. Stretching, overrated, underrated, pre, post, ever?
Dynamic. I prefer dynamic.
Yeah, stretching is basically a waste of time.
Okay, so what if,
Unless
like,
you're injured.
now think of a John Meadows approach, who probably is one of the most informative people in regards to training, period, in my opinion. He believed when you train, the last exercise of each body part should be an exercise that involves stretching. For example, if you're doing back, end with pullovers or a pull down, something that really stretches it fully. If you're doing chest, end with a fly, end with something that stretches the muscle you're training. Same thing with legs. We ended with a split squat on our last leg workout because you're getting a really good stretch in the opposite leg when you're doing a split squat. Do you believe that that is good enough right there? And probably the most effective way to stretch is under load as your last exercise?
Yeah, and you can put your input in, but I would say that if you're training throughout full range of motion,
You're already stretching.
you're already stretching. Like, when I take my bicep and fully extend my arm, my bicep right now is being stretched.
Yeah.
If I'm using full range of motion for my movements, there's no reason to stretch. Usually people need to stretch because they have a lack of range of motion somewhere, and whether that's because they're not actually using that range of motion or because there's an impairment that's affecting them.
Yeah.
But even then, I would still say that stretching is probably not the most effective or efficient way to improve that. There's probably something else going on.
So you guys would come to the conclusion that stretching under load or active stretching or dynamic would be, I mean, is that what it's called?
So dynamic, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say dynamic's better. Now, I typically just happen to just end with those movements anyway.
Yeah.
Smart program.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because that's the way I like to do it. But I'm not, it depends. Like, again, at the end of the workout, you're already warmed up. You're going to get a good stretch no matter what's like. You could hurt yourself, but you're less likely to hurt yourself compared to the beginning. I always stretch out my chest. I do a nice dynamic warm up for my shoulders, tris, bis every upper day. And then if I'm benching or if I'm doing anything, I always get on a machine.
Yeah.
And I would just come down under load and just feel that stretch and just hold it there.
I've actually heard the argument that excessive stretching pre-workout may even enhance the risk of injury.
It can. It's static stretching.
Yeah.
So static for sure.
Yeah.
Makes muscles weaker. But again, if you are injured, I would recommend you want to stretch out what's hurt. You know, if a lot of times when you're injured, sometimes is the muscles around that or that muscle itself gets tight, and then it can turn into something chronic if you don't address the issue that's at hand. So you want to stretch out what's tight. Obviously, if you're injured, you shouldn't be lifting heavy anyway. But maybe you can add input. But I'm always under the impression strengthen what's been injured very gently, stretch it gently too, because you want to get blood flow in there, but you also want to get it stronger. So
yeah, I mean, I would definitely say not to static stretch before weightlifting.
Yeah, no.
And like the big thing with the what I believe the reason there is because first of all, you're gonna have improved range of motion that your body's not used to having. So now if you're gonna go and do some kind of explosive work like athletics or do some type of weight training, and you now have access to range of motion your body's not used to being in, and now you're loading it or trying to put power through it, there's a way that your body's not ready for that. It can lead to injury. That's typically like what I believe is the reason that you wouldn't want to do that. I think you said it desensitizes. I can't remember.
for static stretching,
Yeah.
it just puts you at more risk for injury.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I
I'm
agree.
pretty sure that is where it comes from, having more range than your muscles are used to, and when you go to press something.
Yeah.
Plus, if you put anything under tension long enough, what's going to happen is it's just going to get used to being relaxed, and then when you go to sort of press, now it has to contract in that relaxed state.
Yeah. And like the other thing too is like you have to get the benefits of like stretching. Like you gotta stretch a lot and for a while. Like, stretching, like you stretching for 3 minutes before you work out is really not gonna.
That's what most people will do.
Yeah, and it's not enough to first of all make any meaningful difference in you actually being tight, other than setting you up for maybe an injury. If you're gonna stretch like that, you want to do it afterwards. Like I do that. I would say that I noticed like after we finish quads, for example, if I stretch my quads like really like deep and hard, they don't cramp as hard afterwards. Like when they're totally destroyed. That's the only time that I've personally have seen any kind of benefit from stretching.
And just going out there was another thing I wanted to add. I think this would be a good topic for another time. Would be does stretching and having more available range and just to say like a longer muscle belly itself, would that create more room for growth?
Stretching itself?
Stretching itself.
I don't think so.
Combined with the training. So not just stretching, but if you combine stretching with resistance training.
So basically what you're going back to is stretching under load. Like using the last movement of your chest
Well,
as a
I'm
fly.
talking about if you were to do your normal routine, but then add stretching at the very end, just static stretching to get more of a flexibility, would you be able to sort of, if you think about like when you're stretching on a muscle, right, you're expanding it, you're expanding the tissue.
While it has blood in it, you mean?
No, not even in general, just getting overall flexibility. Now, I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but it's just something I
don't think so.
about.
I think if you're stretching under load while there's blood in the muscle, I think that could potentially increase the fascial capacity. Taylor?
The eccentric stretching, like the loaded eccentric stretching,
Right.
is because it's actually, there's tensile
It's
tension.
tearing,
Yes.
correct.
So if you're not, if just sitting here and stretching my bicep isn't going to do anything
But
for
like
the muscle.
over time, over like a period of X amount of months, do you think it'd lead to more cross-sectional?
I don't think so.
I don't
I don't think
either.
it's going to change. Like, the other thing is not going to change like the insertion origin, so it's not going to change actually like the muscle belly. I mean, maybe there would be some benefit, but not that I would think of. Not that
I'm not entirely sure.
I don't think it would be worth the amount of time that it would take. I'll put it that way for sure. It would not,
Fair enough.
It would not be worth it. I'll put it that way.
Better off going to get fat. You'll grow more muscle. Dr. Taylor's got to eat.
Oh, I'm getting hungry
I
now
gotta
too.
eat, too.
He's got a pro card to win this year. We got to wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in to episode 2.